How much does it cost to run a dealership of this size in the northeast of England? Come inside and we'll find out. Avoid me bald spot. So we'll go through the costs with you, kind of work out how much it costs us to break even on the month. That'll include our salaries, our basic salaries, that'll include the rent for this place, that'll include the insurance for all of these lovely cars. 2,000 square foot unit, can hold, at the minute we've got about 11, 12 cars in here. It can hold 15, 20. We're central North Shields next to the Tyne Tunnel. We've got a decent location. We've got a valeting bay. This was installed sort of later last year, where we can do sort of machine polishing, cleaning of cars, getting rid of swirls, scratches. Mark will insert some pictures of cars that we've had done in this bay. Valet bay was just a little bit of a project last year, so that set us back in total about £3,500. So, and in fairness, that was some toolage, so compressors. These are absolutely brilliant. If you run a dealership, get yourself one of these, an air blower. Really helps with cleaning out the crevices and tools and what have you. Machine polishers, pads, all that sort of stuff. So that was about £3,500, but hopefully it'll pay itself back / improve the quality and condition of the vehicles that are going out, so that's great. So what are startup costs for a business like this? Costs are quite a big aspect of making sure that the business is developing right in the future. So for us, I'm standing on it, it's the floor. This was quite a large expense, so the whole 2-pack epoxy resin throughout the full lot. I believe that was £2,500 plus the VAT. We've had signage done, as you can see up there. So again, scaffolding, printing, signage up there. Again, the imaging booth, that was all signage and a stud wall built. And then we had a 3-drop vinyl made, just as a feature wall, because we're into track days. So I think that was 600 quid, wasn't it? It was a 200 quid a drop. So I think that in total, including the outdoor signage, I think it was about 1,100 quid. So you're looking at 2.5, 1,100 for the outdoor signage. And then we had things, we've got like sort of like an office upstairs. So that's B&Q fencing. And then we've got artificial grass. Oh, we've got artificial grass. I've got to tell you what, it's fucking difficult to say. Artificial grass up here. We didn't want it being mucky. This has fared really well. It's because if you have things like carpet or anything, it can sometimes hack you up. So yeah, I'd say what, another 1,500 quid?
Yeah.
In stuff near enough. The floor, valeting bay. You're nearly at £10,000 of startup costs of initial outlay to sort of get the business up and running, and that's not including all the costs associated with running the business monthly, which we'll go through and put that in the video as well. Another cost. Water and electricity. At the minute, we're running on average around about £30 to £50 for the water a month, and around about 120 for the electric. So you need £200 a month roughly. You'll get the water and electricity for this particular unit and everything that we do, washing cars, valeting them, using the laptop, the printer and all that, the lights. So yeah, it's a couple of hundred quid in that. There is one hidden cost that me and Mark haven't paid for the previous 2-3 years. Right. So if you are wanting to start your own business and you are wanting to proceed to be self-employed or run a limited company, and you do get a unit big enough, it doesn't even matter on the size, it can depend on location, and becomes eligible to pay what they call business rates. So it's a tax from local authority. You had a complete exemption of paying any kind of small business rates. Now that's come to an end, but it was basically a relief from the council, a government relief from the council, so we didn't have to pay business rates. That's come to an end. Our business rates have now gone up substantially from 0 to, if you want to be clickbaity, £8,300, this financial year, so 2025 to 2026, it will be going up to £8,300 roughly. You do get relief on that, so we won't be paying the full amount. You get transitional relief, you still get retail rate relief unless the government change their mind.
That's changed mine. That's gone from, we used to get 70% retail
to 40%.
40%.
So the Labour government's put that in place, but that's another video. You don't get anything for that, so don't think your bins get emptied. Don't think that you get the little council road sweep coming round. Don't think that they'll come and give you a box of biscuits or coffee or anything like that. You will literally get nothing for that. That is a tax. That is literally just for the sake of the council charging you money, really. There's nothing, there's no benefit of receiving that. Another cost.
Oh, another one.
The longer I stand here, the more expensive it gets. We paid our landlord, a service company, Portland Estates, a service charge for the year. Now they do stuff, but they have carte blanche on everyone's funds. Everyone basically pools together in the industrial estate and pays towards the running of the industrial estate. Now I think last year we got an inflated bill because somebody had clogged the drains, not us, and that was something like £450 for the year. So
it's not the year, it's the quarter. It's £450 a quarter.
£450 for the quarter, so that is quick maths.
1,600
quid for the year. So another cost, like you hop into these lovely units and you kind of gotta make sure your costs are under control. £2,500 is how much is, get my finger underneath. £2,500 this cost. So advertising's a huge chunk. When dealerships start up, it's the hidden cost that, when I've spoken to customers, they haven't realized how much advertising costs. We are small fry, we're small fish, tiny costs. But our costs for advertising, I'd say relatively are quite expensive. So you've got things like your AA. For us, it hasn't worked. That's £280 a month. So the thick end of £3,000 for the year. You get a plaque, you get some point of sale, but not one inquiry we've had through AA. Now, whether or not people have seen the AA and kind of went, we'll buy from there because they're AA car standards, accredited trading standards, and they kind of got to abide by all that, I'm not sure. There's no quantitative kind of way of being able to identify that. So we're going to be sacking that off, but that's a current running cost of the business of about £270 a month. Another running cost, Auto Trader, touched on it just before. That is currently £1,200 a month. So £1,250 a month for about an A-car package, and you get one freebie. So our freebie at the minute is the lovely Zafira, which we touched on in the previous video. So that's, I think it's sub £2,500. You get a free car on there. But to advertise A-cars on Auto Trader, at the minute, it's about £1,250 a month. And they're fixed costs. So if you don't advertise any cars on Auto Trader and you've got that package, you still have to pay the price. We did have eBay and Motors. It was hit and miss. The platform was difficult to use. eBay was good. Gumtree was all right. But again, that was around about £800 a month. Obviously, we're going to get rid of some. We're going to try and streamline the business, go down more Facebook. If we can sell a couple of cars on YouTube, that'd be brilliant. That really hurt. That sharp. So what happens if you have an accident? So, insurance. Thankfully, me and Mark haven't had an accident, touch wood.
Oh, shit, you've said it now.
Touch wood, we haven't had an accident. Been operating the business 5 years now. A different unit, this is a relatively new unit. £5 million worth of cover, so they tend to...
the public indemnity is 20 million.
Yeah, so they'll put quite a big figure on it. Basically allows us access to what they call MID, so the motor insurance database, put registrations on, to put our personal registrations on, and importantly, I don't know where it is, hold on.
It's in that Qashqai.
It is. Trade plates, another cost, £165. I'm going to go to the post office and renew these. So you'll put the trade plate on MID space, see what happens on test drives. We'll chuck it in the window, and it allows anyone to drive our cars, our stock, taxed and insured. So that's great. Thankfully, it's come down through the course of not having any, to having no claims. So I think as it stands for this financial year, our insurance is around about 3,500. And that covers us, covers customers, covers public liability,
contents,
covers contents, buildings. We get trade value on the vehicle. So not brilliant, but it's worst case scenario. So if something happens, it'll all be paid back trade value. So we'll be able to wipe the nose, and that's about it.
Right, the main costs, which we completely forgot to put in this video, is obviously our rent. So as you can see on this invoice, the showroom, which is where this video is shot, that is a monthly cost of £2,200 a month. We also have a workshop, which is a couple of miles up the road, which you'll see in future videos where we do obviously prep on the cars and, you know, some work on our own cars. That is another additional £540 a month rent on that premises.
So we've just been downstairs and ran through our fixed costs for the month, and there's a couple of additional items on there that we really need to add, which we'll talk through with you. So the first item is our website. So we pay a monthly cost on the website. We obviously have our cars up for sale there, generates part exchanges, and if anyone wants to sell their car, they can go to our website and we'll come back to you with the value of the vehicle. The cost of that website is £150 plus the VAT. So yeah, we have a couple of additional costs that will go under sort of administrative costs. First one being our FCA license that sets us back about £450 annually. So that allows us to offer finance products, it allows us to offer finance quotes and deal in finance as a sort of a way of being able to fund the cars for customers. We also have the compliance guys. They basically make sure we are compliant regarding our APR. They check our compliance on our website. They check our compliance on all adverts, Facebook, everything like that. Any kind of social media that we put out, they basically go through it and vet it. So we pay a monthly subscription to the compliance guys at £75 a month. I believe that is pretty much everything as far as the running costs are concerned. So the long and short of it, including our salaries, which we take a basic salary, we're looking to pay £7,945 to clear each month before we make any profit. So that is our running costs for the business monthly. Cut. So just opening up our accounts to establish
Pretending to use the laptop while there's a piece of paper with them written.
I'm being an absolute shithouse using fucking piece of paper here. Playing Snake. No. So